Okay, it is my hope that you guys also like the video and subscribe and pass this video on because it is very helpful for someone who has a pet who's sick and can't afford the vet. So what I'd like you to do is to first recognize, again, I'm not a veterinarian and nor do I have a medical degree. I'm only passing on information to help my dogs that had a sore. Um, Cats get sores, dogs get sores, horses get sores, and I've seen all of them, and I've been all around these pets. So what I did was this came from a doctor who had given his puppy intravenous vitamin C, which is not what I'm going to advocate. So I thought, well, maybe this will work for, um, dogs and horses and cats who have the sores. Those sores, I'm not sure the origin of them. I guess there could be different origins for why the cats and dogs get sores, anywhere from scratching to an internal infection to a bug bite. So what I did was I gave my dog a crushed vitamin C, like this jar lid. You just put it in there and you squish the 1,000 milligram vitamin C, put a little water in it, mix it. Now you can either put it in food, in milk, or meat, um, whatever they will eat and not spit back out. Push come to shove, you can also just take a dropper, fill the cap up, make sure you have enough water and the whole lid, if you're going to do it that way. Fill the whole lid up with water with the vitamin C and drop it straight into their mouth. And do this either putting it in their food or dropper, depending on how bad the sore is, um, anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day, and depending on the size of your cat or dog. Now, a horse, that's a different thing. I actually had to tell a a guy who owns a horse ranch that to try this, because veterinarians will tell you, animals make their own vitamin C. Well, I don't know if they do or not. I don't know if that's true. All I know is that my dog's sore went away that had been on her leg for a year and had started spreading on the other leg despite the shampoos they gave me, despite the creams. And so now I'm passing this on to you that nothing worked except that vitamin C, giving it to my dog with distilled water, squishing it in that lid, make sure they have enough water, and putting it in their food. This is good for cats. This is good for dogs. So I suggest that you do that. You clean the wound. And if your dog will eat or cat will drink apple cider vinegar, a catful with a half a catful with 6 ounces of water. I don't know how much cats or dogs eat, but drink depending on the size. I would give that to them at least every other day until they're well. I would keep the area clean that they're infected with. Where they're infected, I would keep it clean. Use disposable wipes to wipe it down with either apple cider vinegar or extremely weak iodine. As well, you could put 1 drop of iodine in your dog's water once a week, or your cat's water, or your horse's water. Now, a horse, you'd have to times it times 20. So 1,000 milligrams for a cat or a dog, which sounds like a lot. If the cat is small, I will go half of a milligram throughout the day, 500 milligrams throughout the day. If it's a dog, if they're not a tiny little dog, go with 1,000 milligrams a day in the water. Crush it up in that lid, or you may have a one of those things that you squish it, grind things with, those little bowls, mortars, I think they call them. So if you have that, of course use that, but we're talking if you don't have the money, so you may not have the money for a mortar. So just use a jar. And the only reason why I use a lid for that, so the vitamin C won't slip away. So anyway, you want to also keep your dog in an area where there's not a lot of insects. If they're trying to heal from infections insects, they do leave the larva, which can keep your dog infected or get it infected. So you want to keep the area clean. If your dog has something going on with the mouth that you're trying to help him heal, you want to give them things like apples and cooked, softened carrots, oatmeal, softened apples, or very tiny chopped up apples. You're just trying to help your dog heal. You want to keep them comfortable, give them a pallet or a dog bed. Keep the wound dry, and make sure your dog has plenty of water, and so that should help. I do maintenance with my dog with apple cider vinegar. Like I said, anywhere, if it's she's been scratching a lot, I'd give a half a cup, sorry, a cap full of apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar, a day in 8 ounces of water. Some dogs and cats will drink it throughout the day. But I do need for you guys to make sure that they're like humans. You can't stress them out while they're sick, or they'll take longer to heal. If the dog is a licker, it licks the wounds and scratches it. Try, I call them funnel shelters around the dog's head.